Greetings and welcome to Calm Clear Conversations. I'm Christopher Johnson with Calm Clear Communications, and with me today is video easy peasy Gillian Whitney.
Woohoo! I'm excited.
Same.
Excited.
So as we were chatting backstage, all right, I'll share this. The green room for Calm Clear Conversations is stocked with nothing but the best for our guest. Um, pardon me. The video easy peasy. All right. I love the name.
Thank you.
And before we get into, like how you got where you are and that journey, let's just reestablish how we know each other. So
Okay.
this is our first conversation,
It
and
is.
I am thrilled. We have a number of common connections. All right. So I think half the people on the interwebs know Brenda Meller. Half the
Lovely.
people on the interwebs know John Asperian. Uh, and they're not necessarily the same half. But man, we have a number of common connections, and they're all amazing and wonderful people.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's like a nice pond we're swimming in. That's how I like to think of it.
Absolutely. We keep good company. And now we have the chance to have a conversation, kinda virtually in person.
I love it. It's face to face. It's
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 face to
it's
face.
in person enough. It's in person enough. And you know what? I used to live in Toronto, so it's like I know where Detroit is. I used to go to Detroit. I've been to Wayne State University. I've done all those. I didn't go to the university. I actually went there to do an exam once, but it's like I can visualize where you are, and I think that really helps. And to me, that's the power of Zoom and LinkedIn and lives and all this stuff is that I feel we are meeting face to face, even though it is quote, quote, virtually.
Exactly. So tell me the journey behind Video Easy Peasy. What what prompted it? I mean, how did you get there?
Okay, well, I won't go too far back, but essentially I've been doing marketing for quite a few years now. And my original journey was like curriculum developer, online curriculum developer for kids, K to 12, charter schools, and that's how I became the Google goddess because I was making courses about how to do Google for kids. And I found all the parents were loving the courses and I went, well, you know what? I'd probably make a lot more money if I worked on courses for parents. So I moved into marketing. I had technical writing skills. So I brought my technical writing skills and IT knowledge and all that sort of stuff. And then I started packaging it into marketing, digital marketing. But what I found was nowadays digital marketing is so broad. There's so much you have to know that if you start trying to learn blogging and SEO and SEO was just like, wow, you got to pay those people big bucks because there's so much to know about SEO. And as I was doing things and working with clients in email marketing, I started to realize this is too broad. This is too broad. I have to niche down and get to something that is much more focused. And a lot of it had to do with getting to know John Asperian, who is my mentor. I absolutely love everything that John Asperian does. And when I was reading Content DNA, it kind of hit me that his message is be known for one thing. And I kind of had to look at the whole digital marketing and say, what do I like? Well, it wasn't the SEO, that was for sure. And I looked at email marketing and it was like, it was good, but it didn't make me passionate. But video did, and video tied to my roots of doing online curriculum development because I was making courses for kids that was using video. But I was always behind the camera. That was the
Mm,
difference. So I thought, well, I'm very, very savvy. I'm very good at IT. I think I could teach people how to use Loom and Zoom and all these different programs. And that's kind of how my journey began. But as I got more and more involved with video, I knew that at some point I had to step out from behind the camera and get in front of the camera, which was very daunting. So when people say, oh my gosh, like anything else but video, I totally understand. I know that feeling. And, it never really goes away. And Christopher, we're both affiliated with Toastmasters. We're both, yeah, that was one thing that I saw we both have in common. And it's kind of like public speaking. You get up to give a speech and you got the butterflies going on in your stomach and they're just flying everywhere. And you're like, okay, butterflies, let's get you in formation so I can do this speech and do it well. And it's the same thing with video. It never really goes away. The whole nervousness and being nervous in front of the camera, being nervous and being on live. It's the same thing, but it's channeling that energy and saying, okay, let's make this excitement and not fear. And, there's things you can do. There's different ways. We talked earlier before we even started today, talking about how you can do many forms of video. It's not just talking head. But anyways, with my journey, I started with baby talking head videos, which was like doing looms where you're just that little circle bubble. And then it was like, did that for a while. And then one day I just turned on the cell phone and I took a video and I just posted it and I just threw caution to the wind. And it was like, people responded. People liked it. People asked me questions. And so then I just said, okay, I can do this. So that's kind of how I did video easy peasy. But the emphasis is, unlike, I know there's lots and lots of video marketing coaches out there, and everybody brings a different flavor to the table. The one thing that I would like to stress, though, is the easy peasy part. Video doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to do special effects. And I don't like people to feel intimidated that the only way we can do it is with a videographer and, all this stuff and teleprompters. And now I've got to turn my house into a studio. No, you can just be yourself and say your message to the people who are looking to hear your message. So that's why I really like to keep it easy peasy.
So I did not need to spend an hour in hair and makeup this morning.
No. No.
All right. Lesson learned. Part of the nuggets of wisdom that you just distributed, I like the analogy with Toastmasters.
Mm.
Part of the thing with video, everyone thinks it has to be perfect. There is so much on the line if anything goes wrong.
That's right.
Not the case. People they put a little bit of pressure on themselves to make a speech or to make a presentation in public, but not nearly the amount. And I agree. Just get out there and do it. I have yet to be in a situation where lives hang in the balance of this video.
Nobody ever died. Nobody ever died.
In a world where the video went wrong. No. Just get out there and do it. Yeah. It is an iterative process. Get over the fear, get over the discomfort, get over all the voices in your head and whatever they're saying, and just try, right?
Exactly. And there's something known as the spotlight effect, where we believe that there's like a spotlight on us and people are judging us. They're watching a video and they're like, oh, I don't like her necklace. I don't like her hair. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that tissue box behind her, whatever. You always think that people are putting you under this microscope with a big spotlight of like looking at you and judging you. But in reality, they're not. They don't notice all these things. What they're there for is what's in it for me? What are you teaching me that will get me to the next level? So if you're sitting there teaching somebody, Zoom and how to add, like, your picture, your profile picture, or how to set it up so that you can share a slideshow without showing, your thumbnails at the side in PowerPoint, we're more interested in that. We don't care what color your hair is or if you have hair at all. We don't care.
That's so true. And a commonality between us, all right, you're easy peasy and I am calm and clear.
Mm,
In that environment on Zoom, I'm helping people. The stakes are not that high. Just
no.
talk to the audience. What do you want to tell them? And with video, easy peasy. Get over that fear and just get out there and form the habit of doing it.
Yes.
Is the first video the hardest?
I think so. I think so because I think that you're just, you're waiting for the reaction. And the one thing that I tell people is make sure if you're going to start with a video on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is my specialty, is that you build the foundation first. There's nothing sadder than watching people do video on day one with 8 connections. And then they say, nobody commented on my video. And it's like, you could give away $1 million and nobody would comment. Nobody sees your stuff. So I always tell people, set your foundation in place. It's kind of like you wouldn't invite people over for dinner if you've moved into a new house and you haven't unpacked yet. And it's the same thing with LinkedIn. You want to make sure that you have your profile set and it's in place, and that you have a decent amount of connections. You don't have to have a ton, but you want to at least have somebody that's going to see it and notice it and resonate for it. And I always tell people, begin with the end in mind. Who are you talking with? And what's your message? But now, as opposed to when I started on LinkedIn, we do have the profile video. And now what I tell people that is what your goal should be. Don't worry about newsfeed videos. Start with your profile. And that is your opportunity to make that nice first impression. And if you think about it, we've all been, before COVID, of course, we've all been to those business mixers where they're like, Gillian, tell us a little bit about yourself. And you're just like, stand up and you're just like, okay, I'm blah, 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 blah. And that's really all you want to do. You're just literally, you're introducing yourself so that people go, I kind of like this person. I think I'll get to know them. That's all you want to do. And then another baby step is start with video messages. That's one of the things in my last newsletter. I did a whole thing on how to do video messages because for some reason LinkedIn took away the help article. And I actually had somebody that said, I don't even know how to do it. And it was just like, well, that's weird. The help article is gone. So I said, okay, I'll teach you how. And then I went, I'll just teach everybody. So I went ahead, I made a video. I show people, here's how you do it. This is what you do. Click, 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 click. And it is a really easy way to start doing videos. You literally, all you have to do is just make a video and send it to somebody, and it's private. It's private. And if you can add captions, it's a great way for you to practice your captioning skills. And then people have an idea that your video is about something. They don't just go, well, what's this weird guy showing up in my, in my DMs. If it says, hi, Christopher, on the captions and you see it, you're much more likely to go ahead and open that. And as a challenge, I have had people who read my article and started sending me videos. And they're like, this is the first one I've ever sent. I'm just absolutely petrified. But I'm excited that they're doing this because it feels wonderful. It feels wonderful to get a personal video message. It absolutely connects like nothing else. Nothing else.
That's a great tip. And if people are connected to you, they can find this video on your profile on LinkedIn, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, so your profile video sits at the top of your profile. So that's beneath your picture. So it's like, I think you got like 30 seconds or less. If you make your video outside of LinkedIn, you got to go with the less. And that's about 28 seconds or you're going to get cut off. And I do recommend captions. I'm the caption queen because I believe in accessibility for everybody. And, you just want to do the right thing. So captions are the right thing. But I do have a beginner's guide on my featured section of my profile that shows you everything you need to know about making a profile video, how to record it, how to caption it, free tools, what to say, how to hold the camera, just everything you want to know. But the best thing is at the very, very bottom of my article is like 20 plus examples, because most of us are like, we're brain dead. We're just like, I don't know what to say. And so, you know what? Go see what other people say. And then you just go, oh, that's a good line. I'll kind of start with that as my script, and then I'll tweak it because, steal from the best.
Absolutely. And now I have a homework assignment. Uh, I need to make my cover story.
Yes, it's so important. It's so important. And another thing is that I recognize that there are people who are just like, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to be on camera." That's okay. Start where you are. I actually give you 2 ways that you can do your profile video without being on camera. And one is just a audiogram, which is basically it's you talking. So like you would be fantastic because your voice is just like so smooth. It's just amazing. And you do your audio. So you just do an MP3, and then you can just put your picture up and then have sound waves so that people, see, and then you have the captions across. That's one way to go for people who say, I just not ready to turn on the camera. Then talk to us. And then the other alternative is do something creative using Canva. And I, again, have a whole tutorial in my article on how to do this, where you can take a combination of pictures and maybe some music, and you don't even have to talk. You don't have to talk. You don't have to be on camera. Just make a montage, a video montage. If you're a speaker, show us you up on the stage. Show us you talking with people. If you're a trainer, show us show and tell. That's all it is. But do it with some peppy music, and you're Bob's your uncle. You're ready to go.
That sounds great. So take the steps that you're comfortable with to get started.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is fun allowed?
Oh,
Do I have to like
absolutely.
put on a
No,
tie and
no, no, no. Be fun, be fun. And, I guess one person I'd recommend looking at, and I think he's in my examples, is Jim Wolfe. And he's my buddy over in the UK. And he is like capital fun. He is capital F for fun. And his is crazy. It's like somebody's like taking off and like his cat stealing his video, or, you can get really, really creative. And as a matter of fact, there are so many creative profile videos that I actually made a second article that's like the advanced guide for anybody who wants to take it up a notch. And it's like, I've got one guy, he's doing his profile video under the pool. He's like bubbles and stuff like that. And there's David Breyer is one. He's based out in New York, and it's like he's like Mission Impossible. He's jumping out of planes and doing all sorts of stuff. But that's on brand for him. That wouldn't work for me. I couldn't be the video easy peasy lady, and I'm showing you the most complicated way to make video. That wouldn't work. So keep it to your brand, and I think you're good.
okay, and just expand your comfort zone a little bit.
Yes, and you can change these. And that's the thing. It's like everybody wants to wait until it's like perfect. It's like, no, just do something, get it up there, start with where you're at, and then you might say, "You know what? I think I'll do something fun for July 4th, or I might do something fun for, a holiday, Halloween." You can just play with these and change these. I did a whole one for the Christmas holidays, but I actually I made it like for all holidays. So I did Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa. I did all of these together as like a happy holidays, happy New Year, happy solstice. I did everything because I thought just wanted to be inclusive.
Summer solstice is coming up.
There we go. What a challenge. Can
That's
you
it. Yeah,
do? Can we get you to commit? Summer challenge.
absolutely. All right. And
Okay.
I'm not going to take on homework for just myself. I would encourage the audience to, hey, expand your comfort zone, take on a challenge, take on something at the edge of your comfort zone.
Yes,
And are you open to questions?
absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
if
Always.
then I would encourage our audience, if you have questions about video and connection and marketing and demystifying the process, and whether you need a whole Hollywood team just to start,
No,
ask.
just you.
Send us a note in the
Just you.
chat and we will do our best to get your question answered.
Love it. Love it.
And, and again, with the video easy peasy, it just the name makes it, oh, I can do that. I can do that.
Right? We can all do easy peasy. And it should be easy peasy. We don't have to make it so complicated. There's lots of I don't like to say that there's tricks, but there are ways that we can be more intelligent with how we make videos. And one of the biggest things that I tell people is if you're going to make one video, make five. Just get it done. It's like if you go to all the trouble of like, okay, I got nice looking hair today. This would be a good day, then you just say, okay, I'm going to make 5 videos in a row and don't stress it. Like that's the thing. People just absolutely they overthink these things and it's just what do you want to talk about? And I always tell people one idea, one video. You don't want a video with like here's my top 20 tips for being a better speaker. We're like, I make 20 videos and space them out over 20 weeks and you're done.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Now, all right, that's on the content side. On the technical side, what is something easy everyone can do to get started?
Zoom. So that's my
Yeah.
number one tip for people. First of all, you have to say, how do I access LinkedIn? So let's just say we're talking about LinkedIn. Start with yourself. How do you like to use LinkedIn? If you're on your phone, make videos on your phone. If you're a desktop user, use your computer, use your webcam. So, one thing I like to suggest is I have a lot of people that are desktop users because primarily my ideal customer is probably like, sort of that 40 plus age. And a lot of them are just more comfortable on the desktop. They just are, pretty much if you're like 20, you have that phone in your hand all the time. But we kind of go back and forth if you're sort of the 40 plus range. So what I tell people is start with Zoom. So many people have Zoom and people don't realize you can have a meeting of one. You do not need to have a Zoom meeting to start a recording. So you launch up Zoom, you put on that make me look nice filter that Zoom has, and you test it and you can make sure you look good. And Zoom is awesome. It's just awesome. Record it and then download the recording and then bring it into so many different editors that we have now. And so on the desktop, the one I love to recommend for newbies is Capwing, and it's spelled with a K, Capwing. And the reason why I like this editor is because it's all in one. So you can bring in your video and then you can go ahead and you can like trim it. You can cut things out, like maybe the doorbell rang in the middle and you're like, but then you like took a breath and then you kept going. And then you say, okay, now I want to cut that bit out. Well, you could do that with Capwing. You could add your logo. You could do some fancy things. And then I love this about Capwing. It has built-in subtitles. So you don't have to go off and use something else. You can just click the tab that says subtitles and it auto generates the subtitles for you. So it's like all you have to do is tidy it up because it's not perfect. It's not perfect. The Capwing kittens, they do their best, but they are not perfect. And then there you go. Burn those subtitles into your video, download it. upload it to LinkedIn, and away you go. And you can use the free version of Capwing for a long time. Like, it's your only limitations is the number of videos you can do per month. And if you're a newbie, and I think the length of time. So if you're a newbie, this is a good first step. Then you get, so I don't tell people, oh, get Adobe Premiere and After Effects and all these things. I don't even use those. I use Camtasia, but I don't even recommend Camtasia yet because it's so much to learn to do all that editing that will probably burn you out. So I tell people, start with easy tools, especially all-in-one tools. So that's desktop. Now, if you're on the phone, if you're a phone user, the one that I recommend the most is CapCut. And the reason why I like CapCut is it's available for Android or iPhone, because I don't like, I'm really about inclusion. So even with phones, it's like, I'm an iPhone gal, I drank the Kool-Aid, I have everything Mac. But, I know there's some folks out there that want Android. So CapCut works for either or. It's by the people that promote TikTok, that do TikTok, but you don't have to have TikTok to have it. And it's free. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And you can upload your videos. You can edit your videos. You can add music. You can add graphics. You can do captionings is built in. Again, it's an all-in-one tool. And then you just save it to your camera roll, upload it to LinkedIn, and that's it. You got it. So those are my two sort of go-to resources, desktop versus phone.
I love that. And, as you stated, it starts with, you can practice it on Zoom.
Yes.
One of the things you can do with that, you can record it you can do those 5 recordings. They can each be a couple minutes.
Yes, exactly.
And the make me pretty feature, well, okay. That button, I had to just double check. On Zoom, if you go into your video settings, there is touch up my appearance.
There we go.
So
That's
look
the proper
for
name.
touch up my appearance. Play with the lighting. Make sure that the light, then the camera, then you, and look at the camera.
Yes, look at that lens. I call my lens Lenny. If you personalize the lens and and actually I have a little happy face, and that's Lenny. And Lenny reminds me to smile and be happy. And if I look at the lens, if I look at Lenny, then I remember I'm making eye contact with the people on the other side. And that's what you want to do. You always want to be making eye contact. And another tip about Zoom that people don't realize is that you can create micro videos in the same Zoom session. So you just stop and then you start the recording again, and that makes a second video and a third video and a fourth video, so that now instead of having one long video, you could sit there and do one little baby video, take a break, take a sip of water, take a breath, and then, do another one. And you can do that all the way through. So that's another good thing about using Zoom. Zoom is so good. You could just use it for so many things. I love Zoom.
It is. And it allows people to practice so they can take a look at it and say, oh, gee, I didn't know I was having hat hair. So let me take care of that. Not me. Not me.
I can't wear hats, not with this hair. That's my kryptonite is hats. I just can't do hats at all.
Well, wait, there's kryptonite?
Yes.
I am shocked.
I know. There are some things that make us weak, and my thing is hats. Just
Okay.
don't do hats.
Okay. So this is gold. Start where you are. You don't need an expensive setup. You can use your free Zoom account. You can use CapCut. And the other one is
Capwing.
So
I don't know why they're all C's and K's.
And the free version of those is enough to get you started.
Yes. Yes, and, you can use tools like Canva. You can do some great recording in Canva. The only issue you're gonna run up against is there's no captioning. So, it's really a lot to have to do that yourself. The only extra thing I ever tell people is if you want to just create closed captions, because that's just one thing we should just talk about really, really quickly, is there's 2 different kinds of captions. One is called closed captions,
Mhm.
which is the kind that you see normally on YouTube. And that's where the user can click that little CC button in the play bar and they toggle on and they toggle off. And it's up to the viewer. They can control their captioning experience. So that's kind of like the default. Now, that requires using a tool that will create those captions for you. And I do have one for people to use for free. It's called Clidio, another C. What's with the C's? But Clidio, it's another resource and it's just Clideo. And you can make a closed caption, which is an SRT file, for free. That you can go forever. You don't even have to sign up for an account. Literally upload your video and then they do the auto captioning for you, auto generated captions, and then you just sit and tidy it up. You're always going to have to tidy up. There's always tidy up. Or you can even just go to rev.com, but you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay to have your captions done by then. So that's closed captions, free resource, Clidio. Now, for open captions, that's kind of what we're seeing more and more on LinkedIn, where they're burned into the video. And that way you can make them branded. You can put them down off your video, maybe onto the canvas. Cause I do videos like that, where it's kind of like I have a headline at the top, I have a little space at the bottom, and that's where I put my captions. And then my videos it's like a little video sandwich. And then my video goes in the middle. So that's one route. And open captions, the reason why those are nice is that you get to dictate how they look, the fonts. Choose wisely. Don't be using weird squirrely font type and crazy colors that you're just like, what? Who could read this? Remember, there's human beings that need to try and read your video here. So don't get carried away. And so doing those open captions, the reason why that's attractive is that you're uploading one file to LinkedIn. And that's the difference. With closed captions, you're juggling. You're like, oh gosh, okay, I've got to do the video and the SRT file at the same time. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I do recommend going with the open captions, which are burned right in.
That's good. And I will add to that, Zoom will do transcription if you have it enabled. So you
That's
can
right.
use that as a starting point. Yes,
There
you
you
will still
go.
have to clean it up. But hey, starting from scratch versus starting with um, a starter.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Now, I did see a question come in.
Okay.
So, conversions. Um,
Okay, so let's read her question. Do you need to convert the Zoom recording, which is an MP4 to MP3? I know there is a tool called 4 to 3, which is free and easy to use. You actually get 2 files when you do a Zoom recording. You get an M4A, which is an audio file, and it's compressed. That's why
mhm,
it is an M4A. And then the MP4 is the video file. You don't need to convert that. That's what you want to use. So you don't have to do any conversions at all with the video file.
correct.
And
It is
and
ready to go.
yeah, and
Mm,
most people, I don't even know anybody who's really ever had to like fiddle around with the M4A to turn it into an MP3. If you ever do, Audacity is like a great free tool for doing any kind of audio. I use Audacity all the time. That's open source. That's free. Just download it, upload your M4A, and then export it as an MP3, and you're done. You don't even need to use any other tools than that.
exactly.
Good for
And
podcasts.
it is. And if on Zoom, you can, if you're recording the audio, it will set up a MP3 for you. And
Oh,
with that, you can have the option, best practice, record each speaker independently if there's more than one
ah.
person. So you
Okay,
get
that's a
one,
good tip.
yeah. So you get one audio file for each. You can bring them all into Audacity and make sure that things are what they seem to be. Um,
That is so clever. So so basically, are they all synced? Like you like the timing
yeah,
of each? Wow. I
and
just learned something very cool. That is very good to know. Very good to know.
wow, that's wonderful. And yeah, I have played around with sometimes if, for instance, gee, two people start talking at the same time,
Mm,
you could space that out a bit so that
mm.
you let the first person finish their statement because it's all recording each speaker individually, and then add just that little bit of space so that they can answer.
Oh, very nice. Very
So,
nice. That's a
and
great tip.
we have distributed a few great tips. All right, you have distributed a lot of great tips. I'm just here to facilitate conversation, learn, grow. Your education background lends itself to easy peasy. You're making everything very easy to understand.
Well, and it's funny, I have a degree in psychology and, you sometimes go, "Well, what am I gonna do with this?" You know? It's just like you kinda get your psychology degree and you walk out the door and you're
Yes.
like, "Okay, what is this good with?" But to be honest with you, I think psychology comes into so much of our business practice, and I often tell people, they say, "What is the number one thing I need to know about video?" And I said, "It's all about the mindset." That is the biggest hurdle. You think it's the tech, and in the beginning, because I have this huge IT background, I figured, well, people are like me. They just don't know the tools to use, and they don't know how to use the tools, so that's all I need to teach people, right? And what I discovered is the tech comes much later. The beginning is the mindset of, "Am I enough? Am I good enough? Are people going to judge me? Do people care what I have to say? Hasn't everything already been said?" And I always say, "No, because we haven't heard what you have to say." Everyone truly has a story to tell. And if I go back to my Toastmasters background, that is the one thing I learned about Toastmasters. Everybody has stories in them, and our stories move people. And that's where one of the, I talk about, I learned so much about how to do video by being in Toastmasters, because it allows you to realize that we have so much to share. And so I always take the tell a story, make a point, because we remember stories and then we internalize the points. And that really, really helps. But the biggest thing is our mindset. Pretty much everything else you can Google. You can learn it on YouTube. Some people do need hand holding. They're just like, well, I watched the video and I just didn't get it. And you need to coach them through it. So sometimes people truly do need a coach. Sometimes people just need somebody to say, okay, what could I do to improve? Right? Again, back to Toastmasters. We all think we can speak. This was here. I'm going to be very vulnerable here, Christopher. I remember when I went to a Toastmasters meeting and I kind of went, I got this speaking thing. I'm pretty good at this. And I got up and I gave my icebreaker speech and I thought I aced it. And one of the people said, but you had T-Rex arms. And I went, T-Rex arms? What does that mean? And they said, you're a very close speaker. You keep your hands very, very close to you, and you need to learn to open up and own the stage. And I went, own the stage? What does that even mean? And I realized I had so much to learn, plus the word so. I was getting dinged by the yaw counter. And I was very, very humbled. But it's the feedback at Toastmasters that helps you grow into a leader and a good communicator. Because if we don't have somebody telling us how to improve, we don't want people to just say, excellent video, good job, because then you just stay flat. You want somebody to say, it was really, really good. Here's what you could do to make it even better. and then you add in those tips and grow.
Exactly. And much like Toastmasters, we need to get out and practice.
Yes.
So don't
Yes.
expect the first video to win an Academy Award.
No, it won't. It won't. And, our friend John Asperian, he has an article. I'll see if I can find the article and I'll link it in the show notes. And he has an article where he talks about people being scaredy cats doing videos. It's a great article on his website. And
Okay.
then at the bottom of the article, he has a list of people who volunteered to show their first videos. And I'm telling you, they're not that great. Yeah. It's like you look at anybody's first videos, they're not that great. My first LinkedIn video was not that great. We all have to start somewhere. And you just have to know you will not be perfect going out of the gate. It's like Toastmasters. That's why we do an icebreaker. It's not called your most perfect, awesome speech. Then now you're retired. It's an icebreaker, meaning you're just tapping in and starting the first thing. And we all, whenever somebody is doing a Toastmasters icebreaker speech, their very, very first speech, we don't criticize, because just them getting up and doing it is the accomplishment. So we don't sit there saying, well, you could have used more eye contact and you could have done this and you could have done that. It's like, you shouldn't have used notes. We don't do shoulds to people doing icebreakers because we want them to come back and keep growing. But, you might be like me, have T-Rex arms. I don't
And
anymore.
no, of course not. And you are open to people connecting and reaching out on LinkedIn.
Yes, 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 yes. Just tell me that you came here because of Christopher. So you know me through Christopher.
Reach out, connect, make a difference, make a video. The challenge that I would put forth is share your video, tag us.
Oh, love it. Love it.
And
We'll always give feedback.
I'm going to go and make my cover story.
Woohoo.
I'm going to have fun
Woohoo.
with it in a world where videos need to be made.
Well, they're personal. They're personal.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, when I go to somebody's profile, if I don't see a video, I don't have a feel for who they are. And yet, if I watch a video, I immediately just kind of say, is this person resonating for me or not? And it's not a judgment. It's just that you just know immediately some folks are just going to be, oh my gosh, he's fun, and it's like, I did a live last week and I had Leanne Calderwood on, and we were talking about using Bitmojis, because that's my thing with my little cartoon Gillian, Bitmoji Gillian. And I said, I use it as a filter. I don't ever say, does anybody judge me because I use all these little cartoon characters? I just say, this is a filter because I'm fun and I'm breezy and light and whatever, and I use cartoons. And if that turns you off, then we're not a good fit. And I'm totally okay with that. And I wish you well. I can still give you advice, but you probably won't want to work with me, and that's okay.
So if shenanigans are part of who you are, then shenanigans should be
Shine.
part of, okay.
Let it shine. Let it shine.
Shiny shenanigans. I have ideas. Gillian, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
Please connect with Gillian. Let her know that you saw this conversation. Make a video, share it, tag us. We would love to see it. I'd love to see what you learned. Share in the comments what you learned and how
Love
you're
it.
going to go forward and make videos and make a connection. So,
Love it. Thank you for
thank
having
you.
me, Christopher. It was fun.
My pleasure. Interested in learning more about any of the items that you've seen in today's session? Leave a comment below. Interested in being a guest? Leave a comment below. I help event planners and organizers produce virtual events. Learn how I can support your virtual event by connecting or leaving a comment. Thanks for watching.